I am CEO Trieu Khang. Hello everyone, those who are following the journey to leave the city to live in the mountains and forests. Wish everyone a peaceful and happy new day. This morning, I stood in front of my small house again. The wooden walls are now damaged. Rain, wind, heat, and termites have caused them to collapse, rotting at the touch. I know that if I don't replace them, the house will not be able to protect me for long. So today I started rebuilding, using stones and mortar instead of wood. I want a truly solid house, not just a temporary shelter. For me, each stone, each layer of mortar is a promise to live seriously, for a long time, not to live temporarily. The most important thing is the foundation. A solid foundation is like tree roots that cling deep into the soil and rocks, so that the walls can stand firm through the rain and wind. I spent a lot of time on this first step, because I know that a solid foundation will determine the existence of the whole house. Looking at the old wooden frame, I feel both sad and grateful. They have helped me overcome the difficult early days, but now it is time to make way for a new beginning, more durable and solid. And I believe that every pickaxe, every stone laid today will bring me closer to the dream of a house that truly belongs to me.
After looking at the old wooden walls, I knew I needed new materials and tools. There was no express delivery service in the mountains. The only way was to walk to the store at the foot of the mountain. The road was long. The rain from last night made the ground muddy. Every step was slippery. Sweat soaked my shirt, my shoes were muddy, but I still patiently continued walking. In the city, everything was just a few clicks away. Here, just a few bags of cement required me to walk for hours. It was arduous, but it also made me feel like I was truly alive. Finally, the materials store appeared. It was just a small house by the road, but to me it was like a treasure. I greeted the owner and said I needed to buy cement, saying that the cement here was the best. I believed him and agreed immediately. I asked him to deliver the goods to the place. He considered it and agreed, but reminded me that the road was difficult, so there would be an additional fee. I nodded because I knew the effort was worth it. Together we carried the cement to the truck, telling me that the work would be much easier. I breathed a sigh of relief. Although the way back was still difficult, I no longer had to carry the burden alone. In the mountains and forests, sometimes just a helping hand is enough to give me strength. And thanks to that support, my journey to build a house took an important step forward. In the hardware store, I discussed further with the owner. I will sell you the best cement, plus a hoe and a shovel. He smiled and said, "This is the only type we have here. It is definitely the best. But the road to your house is very difficult. In this rain, cars cannot go up, only motorbikes can." I nodded. I knew the mountain road was winding, and it was drizzling. Transporting a few bags of cement by motorbike was not simple. The owner looked at me, seemed to be worried, then said, "I will ship it to you, but charge a little extra, because the road is very bad." I smiled and agreed, because I understood that the effort he put in was more than usual. Together we carried the heavy bag of cement onto the car. He also carefully gave me a new hoe and shovel, reminding me, "With good tools, the work will be faster." I felt grateful. Outside, the rain pattered on the corrugated iron roof. I was worried, but the boss reassured me. "I will bring the goods in when the rain stops. You go home first." The rain stopped, and the shop owner kept his promise. The motorbike carrying cement slowly climbed the muddy dirt road. The mountain road was winding, with steep slopes and muddy sections, and every meter was a challenge. Finally, we arrived at our destination. He breathed a sigh of relief, put down the bike stand, and joked, "It's a long way. Luckily you're young, or else someone else would have given up." I smiled, took each bag of cement and each tool. In the temporary house, I arranged them neatly and thanked him. He refused to rest and hurried back before it rained again. When I returned to work alone,
Mình xin nhé. Lần sau em thiếu vật liệu thì anh lại thử giúp em nhé. Rồi rồi, lần sau có gì.
I looked at the pile of sand left over from the last time. I checked it carefully and found that it was still usable. The materials were very precious, and it was not easy to buy more here, so I kept everything that could be reused. I started mixing the mortar. Mortar is what holds everything together. It determines whether a wall will stand. I pour in cement, sand, and water, stirring with a shovel. The rhythm of mixing mortar is tiring, but also strangely satisfying, as if I am infusing my will into each batch. When the first batches of mortar were ready, I began to lay the stones on the foundation. It felt sacred. Each layer of stone and mortar stacked on top of each other not only built a wall, but also a picture of patience and faith. I built the first wall very carefully. Thickness was important, because if it was too thin, the whole house could shake in the wind and storm. I chose heavy, solid stones, alternating them with mortar to create adhesion. The every other day rule passed down by my ancestors, placing the stones in a staggered, interwoven manner, made the wall much stronger than if they were placed in a straight line. When I reached the entrance, I stopped and measured carefully. This would be the main entrance, attached to the house throughout the time I lived here. I had prepared the door frame in advance. There were wooden panels that I had treated by burning them over fire, a folk trick of the ancients. The fire burned away termites, making the wood harder and more durable, not easily rotten over time. The fishtail mortise and tenon system I had carved into the door frame also helped the wooden slats to fit together tightly, creating a sturdy frame. When I erected the frame, I felt like I had just laid the first brick in the project with a soul. When the door frame was in place, I took a few steps back to look at the entire structure. The stone walls had begun to form, the door frame standing firmly on the foundation. I tried to shake the frame gently. It clung firmly to the wall, not wobbling at all. That feeling of security made me feel more secure than ever. In the mountains, a house is not only to protect from the rain and sun, but also to shield against storms, wind, and wild animals. Standing in the middle of the unfinished house, I imagined the future, a sturdy tiled roof, a shiny black painted door frame, straight stone walls. But the construction work was exhausting, and my stomach was growling. I decided to put it aside for now, carrying a bamboo basket down to the stream to find food. The babbling sound of the stream sounded like a familiar melody. I bent down to lift each stone, discovering large stone crabs with sharp claws. One, then two. Soon the bamboo basket was full. On the way back, I picked another dark red banana flower from the edge of the forest. It reminded me of the banana flower crab soup my father used to cook on rainy days. When the fire was lit, I prepared the crabs, stripped the banana flower petals, and put them all in the pot. The rustic aroma spread. Scooping a small bowl, the sweetness of the crab blended with the astringent taste of the banana flour. That flavor brought me back to my childhood, except that my father was no longer here to cook for me. In the middle of the mountains and forests, I realized that happiness is sometimes very simple. A bowl of banana flour crab soup, a flickering fire, and childhood memories intact in my heart. When the last bowl of soup was gone, I sat quietly in front of the fire. The fire lit up the unfinished stone walls. Today, I had gone one more step in my journey to build my own home. I turned to the small camera and smiled. Thank you everyone for accompanying me throughout today's video. I hope you have moments of relaxation, find joy and peace while following this journey. Before saying goodbye, I would like to send you my sincere wishes, wishing everyone good health, peace, and happiness. Whether in the bustling city or the quiet mountains, I believe that everyone will find a home for themselves, a place where we feel safe, belong, and can be ourselves.